Well, good morning, everybody. Well, I should say noon. It's about 12 o'clock or so, Friday. I haven't posted a video in a bit. If you've looked at the other videos, I was in the hospital down in New York City getting ready for another surgery. I guess we could do a little video about that, maybe keep you updated, maybe see if how many of you out there have gone through a similar situation or maybe the same exact surgeries. Bees. So on this last Wednesday, they put me under for a surgery that was supposed to just be removing what was left of the rectum, the muscles, and close all that up. They ended up having to do a lot more than they thought going in. Apparently, what was left of the rectum was in such bad shape and the tissue was so bad that it actually had glued and adhesived itself to my bladder. So while trying to scrape and remove it from my bladder, they caused some damage to the bladder. So the plastic surgeons had to come in and fix the bladder with mesh and however they fix bladders, I'm not sure. But they got all that straightened out and all cleaned up. Fucking bees. So that went well. The only downside of that is, to this day right now and for another couple days, I have a catheter to keep any strain off of my bladder, in case there's any swelling. That way there's no restriction of me having to go to the bathroom. So all that went well. Also, they moved my ileostomy from my right side to my left side. They also moved it up. Where they had it essentially was right next to my waistline. So to wear regular pants or jeans with a belt, I just couldn't do it. Constantly walking around in like sweatpants and shorts. If I had to go to work, I'd put overalls on. I just couldn't put regular pants on. It was terrible. So they picked a better spot. Also, what they found out was when they went through the front, they noticed that all my abdominal muscles and the wall from previous surgeries and infections and bad tissue, they had to cut a lot out and pretty much rebuild my abdomen with meshes and just reconnecting the muscle tissue to where it's supposed to be. As for the older scars from the previous surgeries, they tried to cut that out also to kind of clean it up, which I thought they did a really good job. And as things get more healed up, I can put some pictures up of that. Right now it's still covered up most of the day, so I want to kind of keep it as clean as I can. But I'll definitely share that with you guys. The moving of the ostomy from my right side to my left side was pretty much a great deal for me because of all the trouble and the infections and the bad tissue that I was having on the site that it was originally put. Just in a bad spot overall. So this is going to be more out of the way. I can wear regular clothes and not have to worry about is my ostomy bag sticking out from under my shirt, or are little kids staring at me because they can see just enough under my shirt that they're like, what's the guy's hanging? Not that I fly a lot, but it might be a little easier going through airport security when it doesn't look like there's something sticking out of your shirt that shouldn't be. I know there's certain cards out there that you can hand to the TSA and be like, hey, this is what's going on, and not have to be pulled away for a couple hours. They might just check you right there. Okay, you're fine. Especially in those situations, I would wear a clear bag just so that there's no question that you might be hiding something. Normally my bags have a nice cloth outside, so everything is hidden. I don't like the fact that the clear bags let you see everything. God forbid I'm out in public and I have to pull my shirt up. I just don't like it. So it makes me feel more comfortable. I'm not having any real issues with where they put it now. It's actually pretty comfortable, especially when I'm laying down. I can kind of roll from side to side and not feel like it's in the way. Before, when I would roll onto my right side, I always had to like make sure that I wasn't laying on the corner of it, and it would start to pull and possibly pull the adhesive off. It was, every night was just kind of like, you know, how do I lay comfortably and still get a couple hours of sleep? So now it doesn't seem like we're going to have that issue. So all that went well. Because bees like coffee, because there's about 4 of them in there. So as far as the surgery went, it was a lot more than what we anticipated, but they took care of every aspect. The only part that I wasn't aware of until after the surgery, or the day after, when I was kind of coming to more and I was, you know, realizing, okay, this is all what happened. Because when you get out of surgery that late at night, you're like, yeah, I just want to go back to bed. You're not really thinking about it. But the next day, you kind of waking up and, okay, what's going on? What happened? Well, I felt weird, you know, on my backside. So I asked Jamie, my fiance, I said, can you take a look and just, is there a piece of tape pulling like a weird way, or can something be moved? It just feels like I'm being like kind of pulled. It seems weird. So she goes, yeah, and she's kind of quiet for a second. And she goes, I don't see anything wrong, but they sewed your butt cheeks together. Now, everybody really got quiet at that point. And I said, you're full of shit. She's like, no, they sewed your butt cheeks together. So I calmly said, take my motherfucking camera and take a picture of it. So she took a picture of it. And then I saw it. They sewed my ass cheeks together. Yeah. This thing off? You guys hearing me? Permanently sewed my ass cheeks together. What do you guys think? I think for the rest of my life, I'm going to be the butt of all jokes. Nah, I'm just kidding. But seriously, they sewed my ass together. So now it's just it's an as. Can't add 2 S's because it's only got one cheek. One big cheek. I wouldn't even call it one big cheek. What do you call it then? A cheek is a cheek, and then you got your other cheek, and they sit together. You got one cheek, 2 cheeks. What do you call just a fucking rump? I got a rump roast. Anyway. So, being the comedian I am, I started sending it to all my family and friends. They all got a good laugh out of it, except for a few that were like, what the fuck are you sending me that shit for? But I'm still getting used to it. Every once in a while I sit down and you like want to position, but can't position yourself. Just sitting on a round butt. Well, that's all I got to say about that. But just about a half hour ago, I had an in-home nurse come. I've had the in-home nurse come the first time I had my ileostomy so that she could check on the surgical wounds and kind of go forward with teaching me and Jamie how to take care of my ostomy, how to clean, replace the ostomy bags and appliances, how to store them, best places to, little techniques and stuff. So we had that same company come. It's actually, I'm pretty glad after 2 years, it's got the same nurses that are coming, so they know me. They know my situation, so it's not like somebody brand new coming in. And having them come in the past, they did a wonderful job then, and from what I saw today, it's not going to be any different. I'm happy about it. They answer any questions they can, and if you ask them something that they can't answer, they do all the footwork to get that answer for you. There was a time that I had, might sound a little silly, but being new to everything, I didn't know at the time that certain foods can dye your output. And I forget what I ate, but it had a really dark red dye in it. So when I woke up in the morning, all I realized was my output was bright red, like redder than red, and panicked. So we called her, I think it was on a Saturday or Sunday, and she actually took her day off to come out to my house just to look and make sure, and then ask questions. Okay, what have you eaten in the last 24 hours? And we told her everything, because I was keeping a list back then of everything I ate per ounce and all that. I haven't done that yet. I probably should, maybe. I don't know. Do you guys keep track of stuff after, especially after surgery? Or do you kind of just keep it in your head? I don't know. Right now, I'm not keeping track. I should, though. But she actually did, on her day off, come out and, check things out just to make sure. It happened to be, I can't remember if it was like a fruit punch that I drank, or some sort of candy. That it might have even been, I was on a Jolly Rancher kick back then, and it might have been the Jolly Ranchers that did it, the dye in them. But she said it happens a lot, especially right after your surgery, which it'll still happen later on, but not as much. So that was a relief. But yeah, these nurses are great, coming out on their day off just to make sure one of their patients is good. You don't see that much nowadays. It's either I'm on duty or I'm off duty, and when I'm off duty, sorry. But no, got to see her today. She went over all the dressings and the incisions, front and back, and we changed the ostomy appliance. She made sure the stoma was looking great. My stoma actually has shrunk down a lot from the surgery. Those of you who have had this kind of surgery, when you first come out of surgery, just because of the trauma that happens with your stoma and with your intestines, it's very swollen. But over time, as things kind of relax, your stoma will actually shrink. So when I was in the hospital and I changed the ostomy bag the first time, I was at, it was actually almost like an oval. It was 1 5/8 top and bottom, and 1 3/8 side to side. So I had to cut an oval shape out of the ostomy appliance that they had, which I don't use Hollister just because I hate them and they don't stay on, and they're just, to me, they're garbage. I don't know what you guys use, but the only time I use Hollister is if I'm in the hospital and I don't want to waste my good stuff. And only the 2-piece Hollister. 1-piece Hollisters, you might as well just throw it in the garbage and hold a bucket under there, because they're not going to stick. You're going to have leaks and they're garbage. So what was I getting to? Just got totally off track there. Oh, so my original ostomy supplies that I always got were 1 1/8 inch, pre-cut. Didn't have to do anything. Take the wrapping off, clean everything, slap it on there. Everything was great. But for the first Hollister that I had to put on there by myself, I had to cut like a weird freaking oval just because it wouldn't. Then I had to put like the powder in there to kind of help seal it better, and it just seems like a whole bunch of wasted time. Might as well just get them pre-cut to what you are. That way you have no questions. You have really a lot less chance of leaking, and that's the biggest part. I know some people are partial to 1-piece. Some people are partial to the pre-cuts. I'm partial to the pre-cut just because it makes things so much easier and you're not going to screw it up. I've done that before, where you get cut and then all of a sudden you look and you're cutting way too big, or you cut too small, so you got to go back, and you cut too big, it's pretty much garbage because you never get the thing to seal. So that's my thoughts on it. But everything's looking up. This is now day 2 of being home, and really the pain is under control for the most part. I can't wait to get the ostomy out, or not the ostomy, catheter out. It's always a bother. It is what it is, though. With the amount of swelling and the amount of damage that was done to my bladder, I can see why it had to be left in. So but yeah, I'm all set up to eat some lunch here and then relax. Figured I'd give you guys a little bit of a update on the surgery, and as things progress and I get better and better, I'll keep you updated throughout the doctor's appointments. They're going to be pretty long trips because I got to go down to the city to see these guys. So it's about, if there's no traffic at all, an hour and a half. If it's pretty good traffic, we're looking at 2 or more hours. So I'll keep you updated on the trip. Maybe take some pretty good pictures of the city. I'm not sure how many of you that are following have either been to the city or are living in the city. Maybe it's just everyday things that you guys see. To me, I live up in the country, so I don't see all that kind of stuff all the time. It's cool to take pictures and then I get back home. But yeah, thanks for watching our channel. Subscribe at the bottom, and more videos to come. Thank you. If you have any questions, write it in the comments or email us. Thank you.